I spent an entire week staring at this Mewtwo card, not because I was trying to figure out how much it was worth, but because I couldn't stop asking myself one question. Why does this card feel so different? The more I looked at it, the more I realized this wasn't just another chase card, it was telling a story. This is the Mewtwo card that broke all expectations. A great narrative doesn't need dialogue to tell a compelling story. A single image can communicate more than just an entire page worth of words. Perhaps that's why this card feels so familiar to us. Whether we met Mewtwo at a theater or on our living room floor, this artwork taps into a memory that many of us still carry. We remember what it felt like to meet the legend of Mewtwo. And what's remarkable is that when we look at this card, it conveys two opposing emotions. The first is intimidation. Your eyes naturally meet Mewtwo's gaze. Suspended within the laboratory, it feels less like you're looking at a Pokémon card and more like you're standing in the room, witnessing the birth of something humanity was never meant to create. You can't help but wonder what happens the moment those restraints are gone. But just as quickly, that feeling gives way to something unexpected: empathy. Because behind the overwhelming power is a Pokémon that never chose its life. Mewtwo wasn't born with a purpose of its own, but rather had one forced upon it. Created through genetic experimentation and viewed as a weapon before it was ever seen as a living being, Mewtwo's greatest conflict was never about becoming stronger. It was about discovering who it was beyond the expectation placed upon it. That's what makes this artwork so powerful. It reminds us why Mewtwo's story has stayed with us for all of these years. Up until the release of this card, many of Mewtwo's most memorable illustrations emphasized one defining trait: its power. Whether launching a psychic attack or preparing for battle, the focus was always on what Mewtwo could do. But legendary Pokémon illustrator Mitsuhiro Arita took a completely different approach. Rather than depicting Mewtwo in a moment of aggression or triumph, Arita chose to capture it in a moment of stillness. Instead of asking us to admire Mewtwo's strength, the artwork invites us to contemplate Mewtwo's existence. That quiet moment feels far more powerful than any battle scene. It's a reminder that Mewtwo's greatest conflict was never against another Pokémon, it was within itself. What's equally fascinating is how Arita balances the stillness with a subtle sense of energy. As light catches the holofoil and textured surface, Mewtwo almost appears to pulse with psychic power. It creates the illusion that something is building beneath that surface of the tube. Not an explosive attack, but a restrained power waiting to be unleashed. That contrast is what makes this artwork so compelling. Mewtwo appears calm, yet you can still sense the immense power contained within it. The card doesn't force action upon the viewer, it invites anticipation, and sometimes anticipation is far more powerful than action itself. Nearly a decade after its release, Shiny Legends Mewtwo continues to be part of the conversation whenever collectors discuss the greatest modern Pokémon illustrations. It's often mentioned alongside Mitsuhiro's finest work, not because it's the most rarest card he has illustrated, but because it's one of his most meaningful cards. Collectors continue to revisit this card whenever the conversation turns to which is the best Mewtwo card, the most memorable SR, or which Pokémon cards tells the best story. This is what legacy looks like. So why do collectors still chase this card? For some, it may be an investment, but for many, it's something much more personal. This card reminds us of Mewtwo's tragic beginning. It reminds us of one of Pokemon's most memorable stories, one about identity, purpose, and discovering who you are despite the expectations placed upon you. And perhaps most importantly, it reminds us of Mewtwo's final words. The circumstances of one's birth are irrelevant. It is what you do with the gift of life that determines who you are. That message has resonated with fans throughout the decades. You see, this card may be worth more, it may be worth less. There's going to be another Mewtwo card that's more rare, that's more expensive, but none of this determines the significance of this card. You see, the value of this card was never in its price point, but rather it was found in the memories that awaken every time we look at this card. And that is why this is the Mewtwo card that broke all expectation.